With Fuga, Sukuna becomes even more powerful. The exact multiplier for Fuga is never stated, but Domain Expansion plus Fuga is stated to be Sukuna's ultimate and most destructive attack. Hey, what's up everybody? It's Lilo, and today we're talking about why Sukuna versus Netero is obvious. Stay steady in pursuit of your dreams and goals. You're born to win, you're made for greatness, and I definitely believe in you guys. Keep up the great work each and every day. So Sukuna versus Netero is a battle between two monsters that sit at the pinnacle of their respective verses, Netero being the legendary chairman and leader of the entire Hunter organization, while Sukuna is the king of curses. Today we're going to analyze every single power-up and transformation that these two characters receive to find out overall who is truly more powerful than who between these two characters. This video will contain major spoilers of everything in both Hunter x Hunter and Jujutsu Kaisen mangas, so if you don't want to be spoiled, this is your chance to leave the video now. To start the video off, we have Three Finger Sukuna versus Full Power Netero. Comparing the statements and lore surrounding 3, 15, and 20 Finger Sukuna to the lore and statements around other powerful characters like Maki, Toji, and Yuta lets us build a scale that gives us a very solid estimate as to how powerful Sukuna actually is in each of his transformations. Megumi states that Toji and Three Finger Sukuna rival one another in speed, which is extremely impressive because being relative to Toji means you're massively stronger than most of the Jujutsu Kaisen verse. Later in the series, Maki undergoes a transformation where her Heavenly Pact fully activates and both her strength and speed increase drastically, so much so that Maki is stated to be relative to Toji. With this power-up, Maki became so powerful that she solos the rest of the Zenin clan, the Zenin clan being one of the top 3 most prestigious families in the Jujutsu Kaisen universe, consisting of many semi-first grade and above sorcerers, many of the sorcerers being so powerful that they can kill special grade curses, and yet Maki slaughters them all like nothing without even taking any serious damage. Then during Maki's second battle with first grade sorcerer Naoya, who's much stronger now due to becoming a curse while maintaining full human language and a domain expansion, putting him well into the special grade curse levels of power and rivals even some of the low-end disaster curses. Naoya is now so fast that the narrator states he's moving at Mach 3. Maki at first is getting speed blitzed by this Mach 3 speed and has to go through a second mental awakening. This awakening boosts her ability so much that the surrounding sorcerers say that Maki seems like a different person altogether. After this second awakening, Maki is stated to be Toji's true, genuine equal, and by observing the changes in air pressure using enhanced senses gained from her Heavenly Pact, Maki is now able to react to Mach 3 attacks while laughing. This shows us that Toji's top reaction speed is close to Mach 3, and seeing that Three Finger Sukuna was stated by Megumi to be a rival in speed to Toji, this heavily implies that Three Finger Sukuna's top speed is close to Mach 3 as well. We then see Three Finger Sukuna battles a newborn special grade curse. Three Finger Sukuna is so powerful that he one-shot decimates the special grade curse with his domain expansion. This gives us a scale for how powerful Sukuna is as well. Early Jujutsu Kaisen ranks each curse by its general durability and uses this rank as a power scale to differentiate between curses, with tanks being strong enough to kill first grade curses, but once you reach special grade curse level, a carpet bomb might work, meaning the weakest of special grade curses is the most likely to be killed by a large carpet bomb, but any curse stronger than the weakest of special grade curses, then a carpet bomb wouldn't even do much damage to it. On average, a single carpet bomb is around 500 to 2,000 pounds, aka 1 ton of TNT in explosive yield power. Seeing how Sukuna one-shot the special grade curse and he casually overkilled it the moment he activated his domain, this implies that a weaker attack would have killed the special grade as well. To start creating a scale, we're placing Three Finger Sukuna's full power at equal to a more more powerful Carpet Bomb. His top speed is around Mach 3, and his domain expansion is around 1 ton of TNT. Now let's see how that compares to Netero. Netero is a top tier enhancer who several decades ago was the #1 strongest hunter in the entire Hunter Association. He's so powerful that it's heavily implied that he scales above the Phantom Troop enhancer Uvogin, even without Netero using his Hatsu abilities. According to the databooks, the gap in overall combat ability between end of series full power Hisoka and Chimera Antarch Netero is the same size as the gap in overall combat ability between Youpi and Shoot, which was stated bare minimum in the range of 10 to 32 times difference. Just calculating the Nen power difference, the gap in overall combat ability would then become much larger when you factor in the other measured elements such as physical strength and talent. The gap between end of series Netero and Hisoka is also stated to be the same size as the gap between Start of Greed Island Gon and Heaven's Arena Hisoka. In other words, it's about the same as the difference between a Nen rookie and a Nen master. By calculating how powerful Netero is compared to Uvogin and top tier ranking members of the Phantom Troop, we get a very solid scale for Netero's attack power level. Uvogin, despite being the physically strongest member of the Phantom Troop, literally got slapped silly and low diffed by Phantom Troop Arc Kurapika. Hisoka scales above both of them due to pushing Chrollo in a 1v1 battle, even after Chrollo amped himself with his team members' abilities, so much so that it was almost like Hisoka was battling numerous Phantom Troop members by himself, and Hisoka was still holding his own. Uvojin's Big Bang impact is stated to be as strong as a small missile in the Viz translations, and some translations say that it can stop the power of an average missile. Missiles range in power a lot depending on what they're used for. An average missile is relative to an average Carpet Bomb, being around 1,100 pounds of TNT in explosive yield, and nuclear missiles can range from 20,000 tons to an actual million tons of TNT. Seeing how the atomic bomb goes beyond the pinnacle of durability for the verse, Uvogin is clearly much closer to the average missile range than he would be to the atomic bomb range. Keeping the tone of low balls consistent, it's safe to say that Uvojin's full power is a bit weaker than an average missile, so we're putting Uvojin's full power Big Bang impact at 500 to 1,000 pounds of TNT range. If we lowball Netero severely and say that he's exactly equal to Uvogin in power when Netero's not using his Buddha hand Hatsu, then that means Netero using his Hatsu is dozens of times more powerful than Uvogin with a single Buddha hand slap. Saying Netero's Hatsu is dozens of times as powerful as Netero's base form is a lowball estimate based on Gon and Killua's Hatsus. Gon, as an enhancer, just like Netero, made himself dozens of times stronger with the most basic of enhancer Hatsus, Rock. A Hatsu so simple that Bisky said it's proof that Gon still thinks like a child, and Killua makes himself up to 100 times faster in reaction speed using his Hatsu Godspeed. Due to Netero being an exponentially more skilled and established enhancer than Gon, and having literally around 100 more years of Nen experience than Killua, while also having talent equivalent to Gon according to the data books, giving Netero's insane Hatsu Buddha hand that placed him at the pinnacle of the verse for years, and just giving it the same multiplier as little kid Gon's Rock Hatsu is a fair estimate, and some would consider it a lowball, especially considering how Killua, with just 2 years of Nen experience, used Hatsu to instantly become about 100 times faster. Considering Uvojin's Big Bang impact is in the 500 to 1,000 pounds of TNT range, multiplying this range by dozens, or 12 to 96, gives us a scale for Netero's attack power with his Buddha hand Hatsu. This puts Netero's attack power with his Hatsu bare minimum 3 to 48 times as powerful as Three Finger Sukuna's domain expansion, and he has Zero Hand, which is implied to be a conditional Nen ability, exponentially more powerful than his normal Buddha hand strikes. If you apply an exponent of 2 for Netero's Hatsu power range, this puts Zero Hand in the range of 9 to 2,304 tons of TNT range. Seeing how a small atomic bomb is about 15,000 tons of TNT explosive yield on average, that would make Zero Hand roughly 1/1700th to 1/8 as powerful as the Rose Bomb that one-shot Meruem. Seeing how the Zero Hand actually damaged Meruem, this scale holds up pretty well, and it heavily implies that Netero's normal Hatsu is much closer to the 48 tons of TNT range, and the Zero Hand is much closer to the 2,300 tons of TNT range. Let's lowball both stats by scaling Netero's Hatsu and Zero Hand below the rounded down midway points of both ranges. So Netero's Hatsu is in the range of 12 to 24 tons of TNT with every single Buddha hand slap, and Zero Hand is in the 500 to 1,000 tons of TNT range. So Netero overwhelms Three Finger Sukuna in attack power. For Three Finger Sukuna to even have relative attack power to Netero, you would have to lowball Netero severely and say things like Netero without Hatsu is half of Uvojin's power. But lowballs like that are so low that it's almost offensive to even suggest them. So now let's look at speed and see if there's anything Three Finger Sukuna could do in terms of speed. Sukuna's top speed, as we stated previously, is around Mach 3. Meanwhile, Chimera Antarch base form Killua, before he even learns Godspeed, states that he can confidently defeat jet planes. Jet missiles travel as fast as Mach 3 all the way up to Mach 27. Meanwhile, characters like Meruem, bare minimum, scale to being dozens of times faster than base form Killua. And Netero was so fast that his one prayer motion that precedes every attack from his 1,000-hand Hatsu surpasses even the speed of Meruem. Bare minimum, as an absolutely insulting lowball, that puts Netero at a dozen times faster than Mach 3, or in other words, Mach 36. Narratively, a much more fair estimate for Netero's reaction speed would be relative to Lightning, because there are a few things that scale Netero's speed to Killua's Godspeed. Post-mortem Nen Pito is actually heavily implied to be faster than Godspeed, as it reached Gon before Godspeed Killua did when Killua was sprinting max speed to push Gon out of the way of Pito's attack. And Gon, a character stated to be relative to Meruem, was shown to be considerably faster than both Godspeed Killua and post-mortem Pito, as he proceeds to low diff destroy post-mortem Nen Pito as if she were a fodder character. Meruem scales to this level of speed, and Netero was so fast that he was able to slap Meruem around and tag Meruem thousands of times. Meanwhile, characters like Youpi couldn't land a single finger on Godspeed Killua. And a more subtle implication scaling Netero's reaction speed to Godspeed Killua is the concept of surpassing human limitations. Killua is stated to surpass the limits of his human potential with Godspeed, and as a result, gains reaction speed that is the speed of lightning. Netero is also stated to surpass the limits of his human potential during his years of prayer and meditation training, and Meruem surpasses humanity at birth, which is why he initially looks down on humanity and is listed as off the charts in the databooks. The infamous Netero's fists have surpassed sound statement only makes sense in story if you assume that Netero was punching without amping his abilities with Nen, because the surrounding most consistent feats in the series never show speed of sound being anything close to impressive, so much so that the speed of sound being top tier is a massive outlier. Rookies at Nen combat like Gon and Killua were still fast enough to dodge sniper rifle bullets at point blank range, which is above Mach 2 in reaction speed already, and that's just halfway through the Chimera Antarch. Even characters like Canary, one of Killua's butlers who's not even confirmed to be a licensed hunter, is powerful enough to protect protect the mansion from numerous thieves and hunters trying to break into the Zoldyck estate. If speed of sound was anything close to impressive in the Hunter x Hunter universe, then normal civilians would be able to defeat Canary with a powerful handgun. All this being said, the speed of lightning is Mach 352. Compared to Three Finger Sukuna's top reaction speed of Mach 3, Netero, even being relative to lightning at Mach 300, would be literally 100 times faster than Three Finger Sukuna. Even if you lowball Netero so badly that it's insulting, then Netero would be Mach 36, putting him at 12 times faster than Three Finger Sukuna. All that being said, this paints the picture pretty clearly that even while lowballing Netero, he outstats Three Finger Sukuna severely to the point where it wouldn't even be an interesting fight for Netero. However, 15 Finger Sukuna is massively more powerful than the 3 Finger version. Before we scale 15 Finger Sukuna and explain exactly how powerful he is compared to 3 Finger Sukuna, we first have to address Jujutsu Kaisen's speed scaling. Jujutsu Kaisen's current speed scaling is truly, without question, objectively inconsistent as of the latter half of the Culling Games arc. So much so that there are 3 completely different speed metas happening all at the same time for the same characters. In the final arc of Jujutsu Kaisen, characters are randomly flip-flopping between being speed of sound to speed of lightning to speed of light, and it's happening so rapidly that it almost feels like you're reading 3 different versions of the same characters and they're being swapped out continuously from chapter to chapter. Here's an example of what I'm referring to. Chapter 198, Maki and Toji's top speed is stated to be around Mach 3. 1 month of in-story time later, Sukuna, while at less than half power, uses World-Cutting Slash to chop an electromagnetic wave in half. Electromagnetic waves move at the speed of light, thus making the World-Cutting Slash, bare minimum, a light speed attack. 2 chapters later, Mach 3 Maki dodges the same light speed World-Cutting Slash. To put that in perspective, the speed of light is literally 800,000 times faster than the speed of sound, and it's 200,000 times faster than Mach 3. For Mach 3 Maki to be fast enough to dodge this light speed World-Cutting Slash means one of 3 different possibilities. Option 1, Maki got 200,000 times faster in 1 month, when it's implied her awakening only made her around 5 times faster. Option 2, Sukuna fired this attack at 1/200,000th of its previous speed just for Maki. Or option 3, Sukuna is not light speed and the light speed meta is an outlier. The speed scaling of Jujutsu Kaisen, in fact, started out consistent. For the first 160 chapters of Jujutsu Kaisen, Mach 3 was consistently depicted at being near the very top of the verse, with even characters like Shibuya Yuji being slower than the speed of sound as he was struggling to react to Chozo's speed of sound piercing blood attack, despite Yuji low diff destroying a semi-first grade curse just moments prior and finishing the arc debatably scaling above Nanami and Todo. Meanwhile, most sorcerers lower than first grade are physically weaker than Yuji and can't react to the speed of sound at all. While characters like Maki and Toji are more than 3 times faster than Shibuya Yuji and could react to attacks like piercing blood while laughing and having the time of their lives, then chapter 160, Kashimo is introduced to the story, and this is more or less the moment that the speed scaling of the verse gets thrown off completely. Kashimo is a character that turns his cursed energy into electricity and blasts people with it. Hikari defeats Kashimo, and some of the panels in the fight appear as though Hikari is reacting to lightning bolts, putting Hikari debatably at lightning level reaction speeds, which is literally 100 times faster than Maki and Toji. The fight between Hikari ends chapter 160 190, and then legit 8 chapters later, Maki gets speed blitzed by Mach 3 and struggles to react to Mach 3. The speed scaling in Jujutsu Kaisen became so disorganized during the Culling Games arc that the author Gege actually made a public comment about it. After the release of chapter 180, Gege states, "Some of you are saying you went from infinity to Mach. Are you okay?" And to that, I agree. In other words, Gege basically told us, yes, the speed scaling in my series might have some mistakes. No, I am not going back to fix them. And yes, there's a chance I'll make more mistakes. Then over the course of the following 6 months, after making this announcement to the fanbase, Gege then has Hakari defeat Kashimo, making him possibly a lightning timer in terms of reaction speed. Then immediately after, states that Toji and Maki are only Mach 3, making them 100 times slower than Hakari. In Gege's author note to the readers, he never told us to ignore the speed of sound scaling and only focus on the speed of light or lightning meta, and he never told us to ignore the speed of light or lightning meta and only focus on the speed of sound scaling. So as readers, we have to look at all these different contradictions in the story and make sense of it ourselves. Some people believe Gege is trying to rescale his verse and make it a Dragon Ball Z level universe where top tier characters are planetary and massively faster than light. Others believe Gege just made mistakes and wrote words like Mach 3 and electromagnetic waves simply because they sound cool, without Gege actually calculating what the difference in those speeds would mean to the overall story. Since we are never told exactly how to interpret all of these contradictions by Gege directly, the following is a method that I've found that makes sense of all of Gege's scaling, and it's a method that I'll use moving forward in the video. The speed of sound meta is the original meta of the story because for the first 160 chapters of the story and for the majority of the following 100 chapters, speed of sound was objectively top tier. So I'll build upon the previous scaling using the original speed of sound meta with Mach 3 Toji and 3 Finger Sukuna. Then I'll calculate how much stronger and faster Sukuna is using the cursed finger multipliers given to us by context clues in the series. Then I'll include the light speed feats as a highball. That way you can still see how powerful Sukuna would be if he truly is faster than light. So how strong is 15 Finger Sukuna? During 15 Finger Sukuna's battle against Maki and Yuji, he states that his cursed energy output was less than 10% when fighting against Megumi's friends. Chapter 140, Yuji states that all sorcerers increase their speed and strength stats using cursed energy reinforcement, and Yuta has so much cursed energy that despite being weaker than most people without cursed energy, he's massively stronger than Yuji, even when Yuji amps himself with cursed energy and black flashes. Therefore, this implies that 15 Finger Sukuna at less than 10% cursed energy output is about 10 times slower and 10 times weaker than full power 15 Finger Sukuna would be. While Sukuna's at 10% power, he's still able to react to attacks from 2 faster than sound fighters, one fighter being confirmed Mach 3 and another fighter who's approaching Mach 3, and he reacts to them both at the same time. This puts 10% 15 Finger Sukuna comfortably above Mach 3, but still somewhat relative to the 2 faster than sound characters working together in combos, because they're still landing attacks on Sukuna. Due to Sukuna's casual attitude throughout the fight, it's safe to give 10% 15 Finger Sukuna a reaction speed above both fighters' combined speed. So let's put 10% 15 Finger Sukuna at Mach 6 reaction speed. Then at 100% of his cursed energy output, 15 Finger Sukuna's full power, Sukuna would be Mach 60. Mach 60 is 20 times faster than 3 Finger Sukuna's previous speed of Mach 3. Seeing how this difference in speed is granted to Sukuna entirely from additional cursed energy, that would make 15-finger Sukuna 20 times as powerful as 3-finger Sukuna as well, putting 15-finger Sukuna's domain expansion at 20 tons of TNT power. With Fuga, Sukuna becomes even more powerful. The exact multiplier for Fuga is never stated, but domain expansion plus Fuga is stated to be Sukuna's ultimate and most destructive attack, so it's some degree stronger than normal domain expansion. In real life, burning rocks so intensely that the rocks turn into ash can be literally hundreds of times as powerful as a force that would chop the same rocks into hundreds of pieces, for example. But it should be noted that Chozo, someone so weak that Yuta no-diffed him without even using a single curse technique, was able to block the full force of Fuga using a blood barrier. So that alone takes credibility away from the idea of Fuga being hundreds of times stronger than Sukuna's domain expansion. Assuming Fuga is just twice as powerful as the domain, this pushes Sukuna into the 40 tons of TNT range. But end of the video, I'll also include a 100 times multiplier for Fuga during the highball light speed Sukuna scaling. Seeing how Netero's Hatsu attack power tops out in the 12 to 24 ton range, with Sukuna being in the 20 to 40 ton range with domain expansion and Fuga both being stronger than Sukuna's normal slashes because domains add buffs to your stats like a video game, and Netero's speed tops out at relative to lightning, while Sukuna's speed is relative to Mach 60, Netero would still defeat 15-finger Yuji Kuna due to being 3 times as fast, and still relative to Sukuna's normal slashes and attack power when Netero's using his Hatsu. Netero, in fact, absolutely eclipses Sukuna with Zero Hand. It's literally 12 times stronger than domain expansion plus Fuga. It's likely to literally vaporize 15-finger Yuji Kuna. 15-finger Meguna, on the other hand, would have a better chance at victory because Mahoraga is likely to adapt to Netero's Buddha hand with a combination of Mahoraga and Binding Vows, similar to what he's done in the actual story. Sukuna is likely to at least damage Netero despite the speed disadvantage. Meguna's best chance at victory would be to distract Netero with Mahoraga and find a way to hit Netero with World Cutting Slash. World Cutting Slash is so powerful that it would one-shot kill Netero if it actually manages to land, but the speed difference is so massive that it's less likely that World Cutting Slash would land on Netero, and more likely that Netero would bash Sukuna's skull into non-existence or erase him with Zero Hand before Mahoraga wears Netero down. But there is a chance that they could pull this strategy off and kill Netero anyway. If Sukuna and Mahoraga pull this strategy off and chop Netero in half with World Cutting Slash despite the speed difference, then the Rose Bomb would activate, and the Rose Bomb is so powerful that it would erase 15-finger Sukuna and Mahoraga together. So although 15-finger Meguna actually has a legitimate chance at defeating Netero using this strategy, it's still more likely overall that Netero would win even against 15-finger Meguna. Now to finish this video up, let's see how powerful 20-finger Sukuna is compared to his 15-finger version, and let's see how Old Man Netero compares to him. 20-finger Sukuna has had a lightning-based curse tool as part of his ancient lore since the very beginning of the series. Furthermore, some fans believe that Gege just assumed electromagnetic waves move at the speed of lightning, and that this scene was meant to show Sukuna is casually faster than lightning, implied by Kashimo's curse technique being very similar to Killua's Godspeed. That's one possible interpretation. We'll scale 20-finger Sukuna using the lightning interpretation first, and the light speed interpretation of this feat second. Viewing this as a lightning feat, Sukuna at less than half power, while bored, thus using even less than 50% power because Sukuna's cursed energy wavers with his emotions, 20-finger Sukuna is faster than lightning and may be approaching twice the speed of lightning while using less than half of his total power. To create a scale, we're saying that Heian era 20-finger Sukuna Sukuna used 20 to 40% of his power when he chops this lightning beam in half, then that would make full power Sukuna 2 to 5 times stronger, putting Sukuna in the 2 to 10 times speed of lightning reaction speeds, while Heian Era Sukuna is at full power. 2 to 10 times the speed of lightning is 11 to 58 times the speed of 15-finger Sukuna's Mach 60, meaning 20-finger Sukuna is 11 to 58 times as powerful as 15-finger Sukuna as well, due to all of the additional speed coming from additional cursed energy, putting 20-finger Sukuna in the 220 ton to 1,160 tons of TNT range with his domain expansion, and 2,320 tons of TNT with Fuga. Netero would get absolutely low diff demolished by 20-finger Sukuna, regardless of if he's in his Meguna form, his Yuji form, or the Heian Era form, even lowballed severely. 20-finger Sukuna's normal slashes would be around 10 times stronger than Netero's Hatsu, and Sukuna would be 10 times as durable as Netero as well. Similar to Netero versus Meruem, Netero could hit Sukuna literally thousands of times, and Sukuna would barely even feel it. Only problem is, Netero wouldn't even have a speed advantage, and he would be getting overwhelmed in speed as well as strength and durability by 20-finger Heian Era Sukuna. This fight ends in one shot. 20-finger Sukuna literally no-diffs Netero. The moment Sukuna wants Netero to die is the moment that Netero dies. Netero's only chance is Zero Hand, would still be less than half the power of Sukuna's full power domain expansion plus Fuga. Sukuna would walk off Zero Hand similar to Meruem. Sukuna could stand there, take Zero Hand to the chest, and walk it off similar to how Meruem did, and then instantly regenerate back to full health using his reversed curse technique. The Rose Bomb, however, would be strong enough to kill Sukuna if it blows up Sukuna's head, but seeing how Meruem survived the Rose Bomb without getting his head blown off, and his stats are very similar to Sukuna, it's likely that Sukuna would take similar damage from the Rose Bomb as Meruem did, then just get up and fully regen and go about his day as if nothing happened. So Old Man Netero gets destroyed by all versions of 20-finger Sukuna, but how would Prime Netero do against full power Heian Era Sukuna? If Prime Netero fought this 20-finger Sukuna, Prime Netero would still lose. Prime Netero was stated to be around twice as powerful as Chimera Ant Arc Netero at the start of the Chimera Ant Arc. Then Netero goes on to train, making the gap between old Netero and Prime Netero potentially smaller than 2 times. But even if you multiply all of Netero's stats by 2, he's still 5 times weaker and 5 times less durable than 20-finger Sukuna, lowballed severely, and about half of Sukuna's overall speed. Zero Hand would be equal in power to Sukuna's domain because it would be twice as powerful as Old Man Netero's, so Prime Netero with Zero Hand would likely damage Sukuna severely, but Sukuna would still survive it, scaling off of him surviving numerous domain clashes with Gojo. Then the fight would be closer, but it would still be an overwhelming victory for Sukuna. All versions of 20-finger Sukuna still dominate even Prime Netero. Last but not least, we have Highball Lightspeed Sukuna. If 20-finger Heian Era Sukuna really is casually faster than Light while less than half power, then 15-finger Sukuna and 20-finger Sukuna would one-shot and speed blitz Netero horrendously. Light is 200,000 times faster than Mach 3, applying a 200,000 times multiplier to 3-finger Sukuna's attack power, and you get that bare minimum 20-finger Sukuna would be 200,000 times stronger than a Carpet Bomb with his domain expansion, and up to hundreds of times stronger than that with Fuga. If we use the light speed scaling for Sukuna, then 20-finger Sukuna would be about 10,000 times stronger, faster, and more durable than Netero just using his casual slash slashes, and 15-finger Sukuna would only be 30 times weaker than that, making him 300 times stronger and more durable than Netero with casual slashes. 30 times slower than light speed is still more than 70 times faster than lightning. Using the light speed scaling, Sukuna would still one-shot and speed blitz Netero, and he would be so durable that he would not even feel Zero Hand. Rose Bomb would severely hurt 15-finger Sukuna, but he would definitely survive it. 20-finger Highball Sukuna would not even feel the Rose Bomb. Netero holds his own with Sukuna all the way up until he gets back his full power form of 20 fingers. Then Netero stands absolutely no chance. 20-finger Sukuna would be a much better matchup for the antagonist of Hunter x Hunter, Meruem, but we'll save that and much more for a later video.